didn't have it in Smash for the Wii U, which is part of the reason why everybody loves to play Stadium 2. They believe that's the most neutral stage. It's one of the things that we're going to see this time around. Now, this is going to be very interesting as we see Cloud and Incineroar versus Palutena and Peach. Similar scenario to what we saw before, two characters that can have exploitable recoveries. Let's see how they can manage it as we go into the next round. Let's boogie.
Simple warm-up. Let's just go. Like, the way I see it, that there's a good chance that Incineroar can be the chaos factor in most doubles matches. Just because of the revenge is always an aspect. Getting grabbed, and now you can't really interrupt the side B. The ropes throw is kind of very much you get grabbed, and if you're inside that arm lariat itself, you're asking for trouble. You can get KO'd just by trying to interrupt an Incineroar side B.
Yeah, the Alolan Whip is definitely going to be a big factor, especially if they can manage to juggle the other person onto sufficiently high enough ceiling to actually go upwards instead of from the side. That could be something that could get stocks pretty early. So we're going to see that combination actually come down. Blender and Khrados, Happy PR versus Kuga.
And Jappy, right? And Happy.
Happy, Jappy, PR. I'm pretty sure it's Happy.
It's Happy? So it's going to be Happy then.
I'm alone. I can't.
You can't? No,
DMCA.
The DMCA is
DMCA something.
Always watching.
But nevertheless, Happy PR Kuga versus Blender and Khrados. Stadium 2. Let's get down.
So one of the things I feel like in this situation, it's a matter of like who's going to get their stuff started. And I feel like I see a lot of characters that can interrupt stuff here. Incineroar has his Lariat neutral beam that kind of like forces you to back off. You can't really touch his shield without really, inciting some danger. You're inviting danger whenever you're getting close to his shield. There we go, a little Lariat situation, sent upwards. We're not going to use the KO move yet. Ooh, and I think that's Happy getting the first KO with the up smash.
Striking first blood, rapid limit cross slash for 43%. Really good call by Team Blue this time around, because Peach does have difficulty when it comes to pre-DLC characters. Now Cloud was a DLC character in Smash 4, not this time around. Nevertheless, that range is going to be enough. Now Blender trying to grab something that didn't exist. Sorry Blender, that got nerfed.
I gotta say, sometimes spot dodges really is inviting yourself, and you're teleported to a new dimension whatsoever. Spot dodging to the up smash, it still works, right? Day one stuff still works, but I gotta say, blue team here has been showing a lot of like very good team synergy. When Kuga had like Blender in a side B, Jappy actually waited for it to finish before he was able to move on. So I'm seeing a lot of good team energy from blue team right now.
Okay, Blender actually trying to respond back. We see an up tilt coming out to take away Kuga's first stock, while Cloud continues to be the tank this time. Now using Peach's up special to trigger the revenge is actually pretty smart, as we see Blender actually tie up the stocks that time. 141% on Peach is not a situation you want to be in, though. Just like that.
Wow. I don't know how you would DI to survive that forwarder from Cloud. Happy kind of getting a lot of KOs in this first game. I'm really impressed by it. And in terms of like I've been noticing, like once you start seeing these team dynamics, they have a good ladder combo. Cloud and Incineroar, their up airs will literally link into each other, so they can continue that until the ceiling.
Okay. The limit is ready for Cloud. High percents onto Blender. The limit cross slash was definitely something that he was going to look for. Not quite going to catch it that time, as they continue to separate the red team and maintain the stage control right in the middle as much as possible.
Dude, there's a lot of people say that Cloud is a terrible matchup, and Kuga is keeping Blender away from helping Khrados. So this is just a perilous situation, but Khrados, using good defensive options, has not lost a stock.
Darkest Lariat, like we mentioned before, Kuga actually using the neutral special to try to maintain them away. Now the Explosive Flame is going to connect and hit Kuga 138%, but good recovery on him. Limit cross slash is going to be enough for the double KO. Happy PR with the MVP play. We have a Blender in a 2v1.
That's a 2-for-1, You can't help but ask for, buy one, get one free. And I'm really surprised. I actually was kind of like considering, I don't know how Cloud and Incineroar would work, but Cloud just fits anywhere, like a sandwich on butter. You know, it just makes toast. You put it on macaroni, and it makes the macaroni smooth as butter. You know, like I consider right now this Cloud incredible for this team dynamic.
Now a mountain to climb by Blender. 3 stocks they need to eliminate, but just covering the situations, and this is exactly how you want to play it, Yoma. You are a doubles veteran on yourself, so having somebody on front and somebody in the back just a little bit closer just to avoid any type of situation where they can get punished is actually very smart by them. A clutch dash attack sealing it off. Happy PR played his butt off for this time. As we see the instant replay for the limit cross slash. Now, because it hit right at the end, it actually extended the hitbox a little further in extension, therefore actually got the other character.
You know, as Palutena, I'm pretty sure Blender thought, like, if I dash attack, I can interrupt it. But the thing is, there's lots of things that you kind of have. If he wanted to do so, he needed to have that buffered already or had a distance back to interrupt that move. But it's like, you know, when it comes to doubles, if you're thinking about it, maybe you're a little bit too late to pull the trigger. In this situation where doubles, a moment's hesitation will cost you hits, will cost you stocks. So when Khrados was getting hit by that cross slash, at most, he could have probably prepared himself to punish the Cloud rather than try to interrupt him. It could have been a timing thing. It could have been that he actually tried to save him, but a moment's hesitation or thinking about it a little bit too much, like this is just snap decisions you got to take, and that KO. You know, that was more than what they needed, you know?
Yeah.
And Happy is very happy with that, you know?
Speed is definitely going to be the name of the game. And just like one of our Puerto Rican legends, Juby, he said that the best way to practice is actually playing doubles, because that way you can improve your reaction time. You can see that coordination and cooperation with your teammate, which is part of the reason why I think it's so popular here as well. We like to get better, but we like to get better as a team.
And talking about being better, it seems like Hollow Bastion has really changed something for Red Team right now. I'm seeing a lot of good conversions off Khrados' down airs and Blender's nairs. So it could be that maybe PS2 wasn't the pick. Maybe it's just, you know, there were too much space for the blue team to work around. Need something smaller. Keep them closer together, because if you're split, how am I going to help you?
Yeah, that's el bolerito de los 70. Just a little small space, the smallest station you can pick, just to make them feel the pressure just by existing. As we see the directional air dodge actually coming out and limiting that stock early from the Cloud, a preemptive usage of a defensive option, costing Happy the stock.
I think as well, this pick has really helped, because in terms of multi-hits, you have to consider, blue team doesn't have multi-hits. These multi-hits, keeping it all closer, it lets the red team have more time to think about the follow-up punish. And the blue team has to be careful, because they have stronger moves, stronger single hit moves. So they have to be a lot more careful about hitting each other. I think this is a very smart choice, considering how the red team is keeping their advantage.
Yeah, just as you said that, the only multi-hit move that Cloud has is going to be the limit cross slash, taking that stock, while Kuga responds back with enough smash of his own to take away Palutena. Just like that, the blue team had the lead, but now sealing off that stock, we have 2 stocks, everybody.
There we go. See, Happy had to stop his offense right there, because Kuga was so close to him. If he had continued, he probably would have had just, you know, essentially added more percentage and maybe even opened up an opportunity for Red to capitalize on that.
Doing such a good job using preemptive limit cross slash, as we see on the right side, Blender just trying to edge guard the heck out of Incineroar this time. Early percents for Blender, high percents for the rest of the teams. Cross slash for 62. And now Kuga manages to safely recover, but precarious situations for Incineroar are not where you want to be in.
A dash attack here collides with both enemy and teammate. But this is a situation where I'm starting to see that they're able to dodge a lot more Incineroar side piece. They're not getting hit as often. And like I said, another team kill, team hits happening in this stage right now.
Yeah, 2 stocks taken that time. 1 an opponent, 1 a team. It's going to determine whether or not they win or lose, if it was worth it or not. Nevertheless, 1 stock apiece for everybody once again, and we see the combo actually coming out like you mentioned, Yoma. The lateral movement vertically by Team Blue has made a difference in regards to racking up that percent.
I have to say, like, in terms of, I like how Blue Team is able to split up the Peach from Palutena, because considering how Blender has come in to save Khrados from getting on onslaught from Cloud's back airs and attacks. But Kuga, I have to say, Kuga for me has been incredible. He has been able to wall out Palutena. That's an Incineroar. Isn't that crazy? That's like, you have to respect the cat.
The caliber of player that Kuga has been determining. He has been on the climb. So far, so good. Cross-up is going to come out, but a great snipe by Khrados to set up the 2v1 scenario versus Hoppy PR. It's going to be maybe an edge guard away to take care of this Cloud and force that game 3.
This is totally doable. I think if he doesn't have to focus on limit, get his hits in, he'll be able to get the limit and potentially get the KO to a 1v1 situation. His defense looking clean, movement is on par with just 2 characters. He lets it rip in a parry, but no punish.
No punish that time. High percent for everybody. Blender is going to go ahead and hit that with one of the multi-hits, Yoma, forcing that game 3 as we see another instant replay coming out here. The response by Khrados as soon as he knows that the cross-chop is going to come down. There isn't many options for the Incineroar to go anyway. Anticipating a jump by Happy and just extending onto the up air to seal the deal and force that game 3.
I gotta say, I think Happy kind of pulled the trigger a little bit too soon. I think he could have been a bit more patient because before he had limit, he was not getting hit. Before limit, he was not getting hit. He was properly dodging, sidestepping, and he was able to get hits in, put both Blender and Khrados in ledge trap situations. So I think he, as soon as he got limit, he says, this is the moment I need to let it go. I need to get a KO now. But you know what? That's okay. Sometimes you gotta learn. You gotta learn patience the hard way.
You gotta learn when to roll, know when to fall, know when to walk away.
But now, Town and City, a bigger choice. This is a counter pick for the blue team. Once again, we're seeing a wider area, lots of more space to move around. This lets Kuga stay away from Happy. But you know, and when they're split up, that's a lot of terrain you gotta cover.
They're managing to recover that time, so the limit is wasted on the recovery by Happy. Early percents onto Khrados. They seem to have found the target on the Peach that they really want to go for.
I kind of see as well how if you have a lot of space, you're able to kind of get your throw. Ooh, that's a 2-for-1 lariat armor tackle, but still no KOs. But there's a lot of throwing attempts here. I can see why all this white space can be beneficial for characters like Incineroar.
So he tried to respond back for the edge guard situation. Juggling Blender a little bit, manages to actually go to the right side to avoid any more confrontation. Now we do have limit up. Limit process is going to come out, but they actually hit Kuga moving to the side, and they actually take away Cloud's stock that time, responding once again with a similar DVC scenario. So 3 stocks lost, but red team in the lead.
I'm actually very surprised that Incineroar's side B didn't kill. It must have been stale. Just the fact that also a back throw, he was not ready for that throw. So these kind of KOs just kind of happened upon me. It's like a nice little M. Night Shyamalan twist. I didn't even see it coming.
So going a little bit to the side now, red team actually getting hit with the last spot of the limit cross slash, but not that much percent, so not that much to punish either. Darkest Lariat gonna come out for Blender, but now Blender is actually playing the role of a tank quite well, not letting up on the defensive side.
Sometimes a tank is like the best decoy. They're after getting that KO, and that kind of makes them overcommit. Look at the percent they got just trying to get that Blender KO. And even now, they were able to get a KO stock. Not looking too good for the blue team right now.
He actually responding back quite heavily after that back air by Peach to interrupt Cloud's recovery. One stock situation for Hoppy PR. Now he was on fire right at the beginning of the set, but he seems to be cooling off as most of his recovery options have been taken away from him by the red team.
I'm seeing a lot of good confidence from Blender. He had let Kuga come back with recovery because he was just being ready for whatever Khrados had a situation, and he was just being confident, being patient. There's really just a sense of like, I know where I need to be, and blue team kind of needs to get some crazy side E's, some great combo moves right now to make this comeback.
Climb hazard gonna miss the mark that time, sending Peach to the left side. Blue team both actually trying to land on the platform to safely recover. Now Happy needs to play the best defense of his life if he wants to make sure that they come out to the victory. As the limit comes out, the Blade Beam is not going to be enough. 2 less percent by Blender. Let's see what's going to happen now as we see the juggles done to the Peach. A Lowland Whip sending him right to the side as dash attack actually connects.
They're really fishing for these KOs, but now the situation is last stocks for everybody, but it's just Kuga. Already at kind of a, kind of already started baking KO percent. I think how they've been playing right now, I think this is going to be a tough call for Kuga. He's going to have to get crazy revenges and some crazy reads, but this Ledge Trap is just not letting him get anything.
And good DI on that. Matt, make sure you DI that down there efficiently. It's looking pretty slim for Kuga to actually try to make some sort of comeback here.
He can't get out of the ledge.
Trying to use that cross slash, and the crown smack is going to be enough now after an early momentum lead by both Kuga and Happy. Blender and Khrados managed to take it that time.
It's GG's. That was a good teams match. I actually love the synergy. I actually was impressed by the Cloud and Cineroar, and I saw how the stage has really changed, and something clicked.